Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Center, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. We were created to connect, and it's all there is. Through a glance of the eyes, a smile, a gesture with your hand, we connect, and we connect on a level that's so magnificent that the power that is generated is the same power that creates the universe. It's simple because it's who we are, and it's what we do. And it's becoming more and more into the foreground. That essence of ours that came here untethered, without any thoughts, or any limitations, just with a desire to experience and connect with another aspect of itself. So I welcome you with a glance and a smile from me to you, and I receive that back from you. There are no words to describe that which we do and that which we are. But we are all stepping into that place more and more freely, so that there is a lightness in your movement. As all those thoughts fall away and you move about like a hummingbird or a butterfly, going from flower to flower to experience another aspect of you. And in that moment, when that happens, time stops and nothing matters except the feeling that's generated from the connection that is made. I want to speak to our celebration we had last week for Barbara's birthday, where there was a constant flow of connection. And thanks to Mickey for providing an incredible meal, and for everyone's participation in celebrating Barbara's birthday on January 13th. She had done a broadcast that day, and it was magnificent as always. And both her and Genya, who sit in a chair before me or after me, are bringing themselves each time they broadcast, as am I. And we each get to see the expansion of each person, because you can only speak from where you are. And where you are is always changing. So we have the benefit, the opportunity, the honor to share where we are. It happens to be in a platform on a screen, but for each of us, it's always happening. You are expanding, and it flows out of you like a river. I think it was Kathleen who said to me, as well as my friend Moji, that we're preparing the new world. We've moved past the old world. And I remember saying, in particular to Moji, that everywhere we walk, we leave a wake of the new world, like a boat cutting through the water, leaving a wake. Everywhere we walk, there is new water for people to step into. And there is a door that opens to the new water. And so our connection and our awareness of our connections are taking us past everything that was. And it's amazing, because I know each one of you feel and have felt along the way a deepness of your being. And it comes in a flash, and then it leaves. And it's like a taste that you remember, but you can't quite say what it exactly is, because it's not important, and it may not be attainable. But you know what you're feeling, that you're connecting with everything, and it's only this dimension and the limitations that have been brought here that take you from that place. And just with a moment of connection with a bird or a child or a plant or a person, you're right there again. And it's amazing. I know that we will be there more and more. And I know that that comes directly from our origin. That us has been shielded, but it never could be stopped. And if you feel that, you will feel the bigness of yourself. Because you will be beyond everything, and there'll be nothing that can disturb you. A smile, a glance, excuse me, and so much more that makes everything beyond what it appears to be. I'm just feeling each of you. This new place that we are creating has no physical structures. It's a place of unlimited flow that has no connection to what has been built and established. And it's that you that's returning untethered to the forefront, that is creating the structureless, limitless place of flow. Could read a couple things. This is called Under Repair. Our fields have had to receive constant maintenance because of the density of this dimension that we exist in. There has been so much programming to overcome, and each moment that we transcend an aspect of that program, we literally close a hole in our field. Each concept that we have agreed to and added to our belief system creates a weakness in the field that can easily be breached and used as an entry point for our mental, physical, and spiritual dysfunction. If you watch and listen carefully to someone, you can see the opening in their field when they begin to speak about and accept the non-truths that have come from the programming. You can see where something can infiltrate their field through that thinking. It's like when the protective barrier of a boat, which is the hull, has a small hole, and you can see that there is water leaking out. You know that if this is not repaired, the hole will become larger over time. In the beginning, only small amounts of bacteria from the ocean can enter. But as the hole gets bigger, deadly eels are able to get in, until finally, when the hole gets so big that the boat starts sinking and sharks are free to enter. It's difficult to see the leaks in yourself. It is much easier to see them in others. But know that they have existed in all of us. We are fortunate that through that aspect of you that sees everything, as well as those around you who have the ability to see, your field is constantly being mended and strengthened with the truth that transcends the belief systems of the programs of control and illusion. And because everything is connected, when you close one leak, you are closing others at the same time. It's like when you believe that doctors are the arbiters of healing, then you must also believe in medications and hospitals and pharmacies and sickness as a part of your world. But when you know that firstly, there is never anything wrong, and secondly, that if there is a disturbance in your field, you are your own healer, then all those beliefs fall down like dominoes and disappear as if they never existed, because in reality, they never did. Your field becomes much stronger with the elimination of just one belief system. There is nothing that can quantify the increased strength, but it is exponentially greater. And soon your field will only provide enhancement for those that you encounter, so that you are assisting in the freedom of others, just as you were assisted yourself. And as your field continues to grow stronger, there will be no outside influence that will be allowed to penetrate the hull, so that you will always float above all the waves in harmony and peace. And your vessel will no longer be under repair. And it will be christened with your name, followed by the words, the Magnificent, and return to the sea as all great vessels are, to be a beacon of light for every ship upon the face of the earth. That is who we really are. It's all about the connection. That's who we are. That's what we live for. Unseen and unspoken, in the physical, a conversation that is happening behind the scenes. We are beings that bring into the physical something that cannot be fully comprehended, but it involves a transfer of energy that is multi-layered and coded with the full spectrum of our being. Our bodies, these masterpieces of technology, are the vehicles for the interaction that allow these transmissions. And it is these transmissions that we share back and forth that are the only thing that matters. That's why a smile, a look from your eyes, or a gesture with your hand is greater than any achievement you could ever produce. It's because the achievement never matters. It's the connection of your pure being with that of another. That being that sits behind your body and is never attached to the machinations of goal setting or achievements. What I am describing is not new to you. I am just painting the picture with bolder colors so that the important parts of the painting are able to stand out. Think of a moment when you looked in someone's eyes and smiled. In that moment, time stands still and nothing else matters. That is who we really are. In that moment, you don't think of your body. You don't think about your career. You don't think about the kind of car you drive or how much money you have. Those are the things that the illusion and the programming have pushed to the forefront and trained humankind to make a focus. But they couldn't eliminate our true essence, so they were never going to really be able to control our focus and attention. The greatest athletes who win the biggest game of the year find themselves left with the feeling of emptiness. Many will say, I thought I would feel different after achieving this goal. And they sit at their locker and wonder, what now? And then they remember all the connections along the way, the smiles, the hugs, the handshakes, and the beings that they connected with. And they return to their true nature. So because that nature cannot be eliminated from us, we can really never be fully controlled, and the path back to yourself will always exist in the beauty of a smile. A big smile, a gentle smile, a loud smile, or a quiet smile, done with your mouth, with your eyes, with your hands, or your body. It matters not which way you choose. Begin to pay attention to those little moments, and you will disappear from the world of doing, for you will enter headlong into the world of being, a world that has been right in front of you since the day you were born, where everything and everyone is waiting to connect. What I am telling you is impossible to describe in words. You can only experience it, and experience it you have. For it is the language of life, and we are living this life in all its amazing colors. This has not been our world, and we are not from here. This has not been our standard operating procedure. But now we are bringing our world here, and it will be our new home. And we will operate from that place that we always had inside us, that place of sovereignty, beauty, power, gentleness, and harmony, connected to it all because we were created to connect. It's all there is, and that is who we really are. So this is a very special day because the Advancement Center wouldn't be here if this day hadn't happened 34 years ago. And I wrote something briefly to share. And something else that I will read as well, briefly. A light came today. You came to this planet 34 years ago today, not by the usual route, but in a very different way. On a desolate road, on a dark, quiet night, in a stillness that could be felt. There entered the light. Every reentry is traumatic, and yours was the same. But your entry was without fanfare, as you took Robert for your name. Amongst torn steel and broken glass, a crumpled body there would be, as its consciousness made way for a gift for all to receive. No wise men were there to greet you. No plan was in place. No handbook for your guidance as you came from outer space. We're so grateful that you came here. You are the Remember Whisperer. You remind us of what we already know. So of life, we can be a connoisseur. So on this day, we turn the tables and remind you how much you mean to us. We thank you for all that you do for humanity and for driving the Magic and Miracles bus. So 34 years ago today, the person we know as Robert Young arrived. When I met him, I could only call him the Nameless One because I saw him from where he comes from. But in this incarnation, he has the name Robert. And these are his words from that event that we were going to share at a show we were doing over a year ago. We were planning to do called Magic and miracles alive. And he gave us these words that we were going to share. The story begins on a busy highway between Sydney and Newcastle in Australia. There is total silence and a sense of ease as I look down on the wreck of a truck, which is up against the guardrail on the wrong side of the road, and what is left of a car in the middle of the road facing the wrong direction. There is no sense of feeling, just a spiral haze like a tunnel and total silence. I look at the truck with a sense of remoteness. Then I look at the car, and it almost seems transparent as my focus penetrates everything and reveals a person inside the car. In a split second, I realize that it is me. And then I find myself in the body wondering how I can get this thing to work. The frustration in not knowing and attempting to make various things work seemed to go on for some time until I managed to focus on my car keys on the floor of the car and decided I needed to pick them up. A slight flutter of one finger gave me the lead, and slowly but surely I managed to bring the magic and fire up the body control system. Somehow I managed to get out of the car, only to be met by a nurse who put me in the back of the car for safety. There was no room for anyone in the front of the car, so I have no idea where I fitted or how I got out. A doctor arrived soon after and asked about the driver. He couldn't believe that I was the driver. No one ever saw the nurse or the doctor. From that point onward, it was like living two lives at the same time. There was a history attached to the body and a totally different existence attached to the living being I knew to be me. This single event opened to me the enormous capacity of my being and the reality of the world of magic and miracles. So before I sign off, I'll invite each of you to raise a glass and celebrate with us today as we celebrate the being that we know as Robert Young. And so I wish you a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.